Grau, pow. Young nigga itching for bodies that geeking on Molly, get hit with a shotty. My bitches got it too hot, we doing something, can't tell everybody. Oh, you ain't keep it solid. Nigga keep that shit a hush, we gon' do it here and don't tell nobody. Young nigga itching for bodies that geeking on Molly, get hit with a shotty. My bitches got it too hot.
Hey man, I'm back again with another reaction video, and today we got King Von rap series. All Lil Von. Make sure y'all like, comment, share, subscribe. Let's get into it.
These are King Von's most disrespectful lyrics that really happened. Starting from a bar from On Your Head, where King Von says, I saw him at the store, but I ain't have my mask. This is the last time that the ops getting a pass. In this bar, Von referenced the time where he ran into his op, Wooski, in the store on 63rd. And when Wooski saw Von walk into the store, he tried to hide from Von since they were beefing. Because not long after the incident took place, Wooski made a tweet directed at Von saying, "You were scared to walk in the store. You looked me in my eye." Yeah. Von replied to Wooski saying, LOL, on Keta. Y'all locked the door when I tried to come back in, and you got up and went behind your guys. And Von said he left the store without hitting Wooski since there were too many witnesses, and he didn't have his ski mask to hide his face. Wooski didn't think so though, since he said Von saw him and was lacking. But not long after those tweets, Wooski's ops eventually caught up with him, and Von spoke on the situation in the song Back Again, saying, I bet Wooski feel this one. I bet Wooski still twitching. King Von is referring to the situation that happened to Wooski at his partner Dooski the Man's funeral, because on the day before Dooski's funeral, some O-Block members were seen FaceTiming Wooski and letting him know they had a big surprise for him.
Listen, we go surprise. You talking about tonight. We go surprise, bro. On the free. But you talking about tonight.
No way they told bro what they was gonna do and did it.
So the day of Dooski's funeral was tense, since everyone knew that something could go down at any moment. FBG Duck's cousin, Ruger, said in an interview how he also felt like something was going to go down because there was bad energy in the air.
Oh, that's Dooski the Man. To be honest, I kind of felt like something, you know what I'm saying, funny was gonna happen. On some real shit. Just off the strength, like, that's Dooski. Like, yeah, whenever you mention Dooski, you better mention the movie.
This turned out to be true, because when Wooski stepped outside during the funeral to smoke a cigarette, 4 men in hoodies ran up and started shooting in their direction. Wooski was hit in the head, and 5 other people leaving the building after the service were also hit.
There were a total of 6 people who were shot outside the church. It was a pandemonium, a scene of pandemonium right after that happened. Many of those people. There were a total of 6 people who were shot outside the church. It was a pandemonium, a scene of pandemonium right after that happened. Many of those people who were shot were leaving a funeral.
A daycare owner even spoke about the situation, since there were kids inside the daycare when this tragedy occurred.
I don't know what else to tell them. We don't know what else to tell them. We just hug them and just tell them it's going to be all right.
Sherry Savage says there is so much gunfire in her neighborhood, the kids at her daycare, 2 to 6 years old, already know to duck when they hear shots.
Thankfully, no one lost their life in this shooting. And even though Wooski survived the shooting, the injury was so bad, he had no choice but to leave the streets alone for a little while. But Von didn't care and continued dissing Wooski on social media every chance he had.
You know, they try to make all the ugly seem like they super tough and they super gangster cause he ugly. He got shot in his head, so now he's stupid slow. They think that's savage. That's lame. Don't nobody get shot in the head. That's goofy. You're goofy. That's what I'm telling y'all. Bitch. Them bullets be changing them. Oh, man. I hope you watching. I hope you hear this. Dude.
Von dissed Wooski and his brother in exposing me, saying Goofy got shot right up in his top. His brother told on me. Couldn't get a bond, I sat it out. They put that hold on me. Big Mike is Wooski's brother, who used to be cool with King Von before he told on him. Because in 2014, Von was chilling at a house party. And during the party, a dude named Malcolm Stuckey and some of his friends were mean mugging Von to try and scare him. But Von decided not to try anything since he was outnumbered. So he left the party and recruited Big Mike for backup. So once he and Von showed up to the party and spotted Malcolm hanging out by the porch, they opened fire. hitting Malcolm and injuring several others. Not long after, Von and Mike were arrested and charged with 1 count of murder and 2 counts of attempted murder. So Von and Mike would go on to fight this case over the next 4 years. And the case was looking pretty bad for Von after Big Mike agreed to cooperate with the police and testify that Von was the one who fired the shot that ended Malcolm's life. And at the last minute, Big Mike refused not to take the stand. No other witnesses came to testify either. So the prosecutors didn't have much evidence to tie to Von. So Von stays silent and was eventually acquitted of the charges, while Big Mike got sentenced to 28 years. And if Mike never agreed to testify in the first place, he would have also beaten the case. Von also dissed NBA Youngboy in one of his songs, but many people missed it. But before we talk about that, we have to talk about all the times Von dissed Tuka, because in For a Fact, he said, "Caught that boy right by the bus. This his last stop." On January 12th, 2011, Tuka was waiting for the bus when a car pulled up in front of him. A passenger hopped out and exchanged a few words with him before shooting him multiple times. Tuka was pronounced dead at the scene when police arrived. But with this lyric, there's also a chance that King Von could be talking about Tuka's brother, Lil Mark, who watched Tuka lose his life. Because 2 years after Tuka died, Lil Mark was shot and killed at a bus stop on the south side of Chicago. One witness who claimed to have been standing behind Lil Mark when he died said the man pulled up with a handgun and opened fire. After shooting Lil Mark, he entered a minivan and left. Police later found the same vehicle burning in flames not too far from the bus stop Lil Mark lost his life at. But Von didn't diss Lil Mark as much as he dissed Tuka because he took shots at Tuka and all these and was way more direct with it, saying, "Tuka in my lung." I say that every time because he got smoked. And this is one of the lines that made people wonder why Von hated Tuka so much. And after dissing him so much, Tuka became a meme on the internet, and it got so bad that rappers who aren't even from Chicago
Tuka, I ain't gonna say my cousin, but we got the same last name, so that's my cousin. So chill out.
dissing Tuka.
With a soda, I be smoking the Tuka game. I'm never sober.
King Von was even teaching the babies from Mo Block to diss on Tuka.
Shoot him. Shoot him. Tuka. Tuka. Shot Tuka. Say Tuka, man. Shoot him again. Shoot him in his head.
It was so bad that Tuka's mother spoke about the situation, begging people to stop speaking on her son.
My son been dead 10 years, and it's like I still can't get no type of lenience from nowhere, because every time you turn around, if it's like the upcoming ones, it's the industry people that's already in the industry, and they don't even know my son. They just went off of something somebody else said about my son.
Subscribe right quick before we move on. But now, let's talk about this bar from GTA, where Von makes fun of FBG Duck because he said he made a diss and now he a ghost. And it happened fast. FBG Duck was a well-known Chicago drill rapper and one of Von's most known ops, because he and Von used to always send shots at each other. But not long after Duck dropped his song Dead, dissing all of O Block's fallen soldiers, it made them want to get rid of them ASAP, since it was one of the most disrespectful songs ever. And a month later, while FBG Duck was shopping, 2 cars pulled up on the side of him and started opening fire. Duck was hit multiple times and later pronounced dead at the hospital. It's also rumored that O Block wanted Duck gone so bad that Von put a $100,000 bounty on FBG Duck. In War With Us, when King Von says, put her pretty out in the morgue, call that drop dead gorgeous, he was sending shots at K.I., a feared Chicago assassin and member of STL. And at just the age of 14, K.I. had already caught her first body. And she was feared by a ton of her ops, except for King Von, because on April 11th, 2014, K.I. was going to one of her friends' houses for a birthday party, when Von and Big A, another O Block member, caught her lacking and started firing at her. She died on the scene at just 17 years old. And back in 2021, the Chicago Police Department named Von as the offender who shot at K.I. And Von...
He admitted to it, but nigga dead, so who else you gonna put it on?
Has referred to her many times in his songs. Von also used to troll K.I. and call her pretty to her so he could backdoor her. She most likely knew this though, since she was never down to meet with King Von. And one of K.I.'s friends, who was interviewed for a documentary, said K.I. felt that Von was doing that to try and snake her.
Yeah, he wanted to be her boyfriend. She just felt like he was trying to set her up and kill her. That's what she told me. She was like, I think he's just trying to kill me. he don't like me. What's the like?
In the same interview, Vine spoke about his situation with K.I. in a playful manner.
It's like that.
The exact text was something along the lines of, when all over with, I'm going to get up in you or something. Does that sound about right?
That sound raw, so yeah, I'll be saying raw.
Vine also dissed people out of Chicago because in Suspect, he says, really, 6ix9ine really snitches. And he took shots at 6ix9ine since he broke a rule rappers and gang members live by and snitched on everyone when he got arrested back in 2019. Vine also dissed 6ix9ine since it was the perfect way for him to get back at 6ix9ine after all the trolling. Because in 2020, 6ix9ine went to O-Block and visited the spot where an O-Block member allegedly passed away. And after Vine saw that video, he went on IG saying how what 6ix9ine did wasn't cool.
That 6ix9ine, that ain't cool. Oh no, they got this man running around. It's funny. Yeah, that's funny as hell. That's funny.
Caught that brick and hit him in his FBG Brick was an STL rapper who was gunned down in July 2017 along with Kobe Mack on 63rd. The police found one of them with a wound to the head in front of a house on the south side of Chicago and found the other guy behind the house with gunshot wounds to his back and arm. They were both pronounced dead at the scene. FBG Brick was also FBG Duck's brother. And Duck spoke on the situation a little in an interview with DJ Vlad and explained what he did when he heard the news.
You pulled up to the scene and you actually saw them actually still right there on the street?
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. You just started crying.
Automatic breakdown.
Now let's move on to the time King Von dissed NBA Youngboy, because in all these, he said that Dookie, I be his main, and he don't know. And Von is talking about NBA Youngboy and his baby mama Janiyah with this bar. And the beef between the two wasn't very public until Von passed away. But people knew Youngboy and Von wouldn't have the best relationship with each other after King Von was seen with his baby mama Janiyah a few months before he passed away. And not long after Youngboy saw the picture of Von and Janiyah, he went on Instagram and took shots at Von and said, "I'm gonna make sure that my son, your daughter, since you trolling." But this isn't the only time Vine spoke on NBA Youngboy. So click this video to see what rappers like Lil Baby, Lil Durk, and King Von really think about NBA Youngboy.
Download Domino's app today and become a piece of the pot.